Congratulations. You've just woken up in 1600s Mughal India. The good news? You're not dead. The bad news? Something is chewing on your turban. You spot it instinctively. Was it a rat? A squirrel? A very confused mongoose? Doesn't matter, it's gone, and now your scalp itches. Welcome to the Empire Dot. You sit up on your bed, which is actually a wooden plank, slightly tilted and generously decorated with straw, termites, and a questionable wet spot. You're surrounded by cousins, goats, one snoring uncle who arrived 3 years ago and never left, and quite possibly a cobra curled in the corner pretending to be a rope. There's no mattress, no fan, no personal space. There's just heat, thick, wet, clinging heat. The kind that makes your skin feel like it's being hugged by a sweaty buffalo. You wipe your face with your sleeve. That makes it worse. The floor creaks as you stand barefoot, obviously. You tiptoe over sleeping bodies and dried cow dung to the door. You need fresh air. Spoiler alert, there is none. The outside smells like perfumed Panchaburt, ghee, manure, and the neighbor's tender smoke. Ah yes, that's the scent of power and poverty mixed in equal parts. You glance around your village, which looks charming if you squint hard enough and ignore the puddles of mystery liquid that dot every corner. Mud houses, straw roofs, and children chasing chickens that don't belong to them. The soundtrack? Roosters screaming, someone coughing up their ancestors, and a harmonium playing slightly out of tune. You decide to wash your face. Bold of you. To assume you'll find clean water. There's a communal bucket near the well that everyone uses. Your family, your neighbor, his goat, and maybe a bird or two. The water is murky, with bits floating in it, leaves, insects, possibly someone's lost hope. You splash it on your face anyway. It's cold and probably infectious. Now comes breakfast time. You're starving, which is adorable because food. Like comfort is a luxury. Your mother hands you a piece of roti so dry it could double as a weapon. It cracks in half before it reaches your mouth. You dip it into yesterday's lentil mush. It helps a little. Kind of you try not to think about how many times this mush has been reheated, or how long it's been sitting there, or why there's a fly doing laps around your bowl like it owns the place. While you chew on sadness, a rooster jumps onto the table. No one flinches. That's normal. In fact, that rooster probably has more freedom than you. Now comes the part of the day where you get dressed. Good news. You only own one outfit, so the choice is easy. Bad news. You've been wearing it for so long it has developed a personality. It smells like history, musty, earthy, possibly cursed. You slip into your kurta and dhoti, both of which are stiff from yesterday's sweat and offer about as much ventilation as a burlap sack. Your shoes? Oh, you sweet summer child. You don't own any. You walk barefoot on mud, dung, gravel, and hot stones. Every step is a fun surprise. Some say it builds character. Mostly it builds calluses. You think maybe, just maybe, today will be peaceful, and then you hear it. Duck. No, not the bird. The action. Because there's a noble's elephant procession coming through the street, and you're standing directly in its path. You jump aside just in time to avoid becoming a pancake. The elephant passes, majestic and indifferent, ridden by someone in silk who wouldn't blink if you disappeared. You mutter something under your breath and begin walking to your job, which is more like a lifelong sentence. You're either a field laborer, a potter's apprentice, or the person who carries water up palace stairs all day. Either way, your boss is richer than you, older than the sun, and yells like it's a form of breathing. Work means hours under the scorching sun, lifting, sweating, bending, more sweating, and then possibly fainting. But don't worry, if you collapse, someone might splash hot water on your face and call it treatment tap by noon. Your clothes are soaked. Not with water, don't be silly, but with your own despair and body salt. You smell like you fought a wild boar and lost. You try to wipe your face with a cloth, which leaves a streak of dirt, but at least now you match the walls. And there's the curry. If it even qualifies, it's sitting in a cracked clay bowl beside the roti. You don't know what's in it. You don't want to know. You stir it with your roti corner like a brave soul poking a swamp. It smells. Okay. A little sour, a little smoky. Definitely yesterday's batch. Possibly the day before's. Either way, it's been reheated so many times. It's reached emotional exhaustion. You take a bite. It's spicy, salty, and somehow cold. Impressive. A potato in there, maybe. Or it's a chunk of old turnip. You can't tell anymore. Your taste buds raise a white flag. Eat, someone says. It gives strength. Strength to what? Your intestinal regrets? But you keep eating because there's no other option. You're a peasant, not a prince. There's no buffet, no menu. No waiter asking if you'd like masala tea with oat milk. And speaking of tea, don't even dream of it. Real tea hasn't arrived in full force yet. And even if it had, you couldn't afford it. So Haldi milk it is. With bonus ants. Next to you, a child picks up a hunk of jaggery raw cane sugar and gnaws on it like it's a chew toy. You're jealous. At least it tastes like something. A rare treat. Your sweet cravings will have to wait for festival season. You glance around the room. Everyone is chewing in silence. It's not reverence, it's concentration. The food requires effort, both mentally and physically. A young man near the corner is banging his roti against a stone to soften it. Or maybe to test its structural stability. In the background, a cat licks a bowl that looks cleaner than yours. You envy its freedom, and possibly its diet. Meanwhile, the cook your mother, aunt, or someone equally tired sits nearby, eyeing. Everyone like a hawk. Don't complain. Don't waste. Food is survival, not satisfaction. You try to stay positive. At least the curry isn't moving. At least the roti didn't break your tooth. At least the milk only had 3 ants today. That's a record low. Then someone brings out the chutney. It's green. That's all you know. Possibly made from coriander, maybe mint, probably crushed by hand in a stone bowl last week. You dip your roti and take a cautious bite. It slaps you. Bold, fiery, weirdly refreshing. You weren't ready. You cough. Your eyes water. Someone hands you more Haldi milk. You pass. There's a lesson here. But your brain is too busy playing, will I digest this? To figure it out. Now, just as you finish eating, a fly lands on your plate. It does a victory lap, claiming your leftovers. You let it. It's earned it. You sit back, stomach half full, heart half broken. Breakfast didn't kill you. But it certainly didn't comfort you either. That's just how it goes. In Mughal India. Breakfast is like everything else, basic, brutal, and just enough to get you through the next few hours of hard labor. You won't feel satisfied, but you'll survive, probably. As you rise to rinse your plate with cold water from a rusty jug. You notice a rooster pecking at your crumbs. You salute him silently. He gets it. Tomorrow's breakfast. Probably the same. But hey, maybe the milk will have fewer ants. Maybe. Congratulations. You've survived the food. You've braved the bathroom. Now it's time to get dressed. And this, dear reader, is where dignity goes to die. You open your wooden trunk. Not because it holds choices, but because that's where your only outfit lives. A Kurta so stiff, it could stand up on its own and apply for a job. You've worn it every day for the past 6 months. Rain or shine, fever or festival. The fabric, rough, hand-woven cotton. In theory, breathable. In practice, scratchier than a sandpaper blanket made by someone who hates you. It's faded, stained, and smells like yesterday's curry had an argument with last week's onion oil. You lift it up. It creaks. That's right. Your clothing creaks. You slide it over your head and immediately regret it. The neckline is too tight. The sleeves are uneven, and the back has a small hole, but it's okay. You'll just call it ventilation. As for undergarments, let's not pretend. If you have a second layer under that kurta, you're either extremely lucky or suspiciously wealthy. Most days, it's just you, your sweat, and the vague memory of hygiene. Next comes the dhoti or lower wrap, a rectangular piece of cloth that needs to be folded, tucked, and whispered to. You wrestle with it like you're trying to tie a knot in a cloud. Eventually, it holds barely. One wrong sneeze and it might unravel. You live on the edge. Now you move to footwear. Or what passes for it, you scan the room. Your shoes, if you own any, are leather slip-ons made from untreated hide. No cushioning, no arch support, no left or right. Just one shape fits all, and that shape is ow. If they're missing, it's not theft. Someone probably borrowed them forever. If you're barefoot, welcome to the majority. Your feet greet every rock, thorn, and puddle with unfiltered emotion. On hot days, you fry your solace like poppet. On wet days, they soak like sponges. Worms, fungus, and mysterious itches. Part of the package, you walk carefully each step up. Lesson in humility. You try to avoid stepping in anything that squishes, but this is the Mughal Empire. Everything squishes. Now, the weather plays dress-up roulette with you. In summer, your body becomes a swamp. Your kurta clings to your back, like a needy ghost. Sweat trickles from places you didn't know could leak. You fan yourself with a palm leaf. It doesn't help. You sit under a tree. It laughs at you. Deodorant, not invented. Talcum powder, too fancy. You deal with the heat by sitting still and praying the wind remembers you exist out in winter. You pile on more layers. By layers, we mean the same outfit, just dirtier. Maybe a shawl if you haven't traded it for lentils. Your nose drips. Your fingers go numb. The wind cuts through your cotton like it's auditioning for a horror movie. There's no fireplace. Just a clay stove and a flicker of warmth you share with 3 coughing elders and a chicken dot, and then there's the rainy season. Your clothes don't. Dry for 3 months. Your feet live in mud. Your armpits develop their own climate. You try to wash your clothes once a month, but it's a whole operation. First, you carry water from the well. Then you heat it over a fire that keeps going out. Then you scrub with ash or crushed soap nuts, which sound magical but feel like gravel. Your clothes bleed color, shrink, and still smell like fermented onions. You hang them to dry and hope. The goats don't eat them. You'd think wealthy people have it better. They do, but not by much. Rich nobles wear silks and brocades, which look beautiful but feel like wearing embroidered sandpaper in 40 degrees Celsius heat. Their shoes have curled toes and decorative beads that serve no purpose other than saying, I don't walk. Far, the real flex, having multiple outfits. And servants to beat them against stones and iron them with heavy brass pans filled with hot coals. Yes, that's real. An iron was basically a frying pan of fire applied directly to your clothes. Gently, hopefully. But even with wealth, rashes don't discriminate. Everyone itches, everyone scratches, and everyone blames the weather, the cloth, or the curse of an angry ancestor back in your world. You try not to move too much. The seams of your kurta are held together with hope and frayed threads. You raise. Your arm, stitch pops, you sit cross-legged. Dhoti shifts dangerously. Everything feels tight where it shouldn't and loose where it should hold on for dear life. You scratch your neck, then your side, then your leg. Congratulations. You've entered the ancient game called itch or infection. It's never fun, and the rules are unclear. There's no ointment, no powder, no doctor. If it gets red and swollen, Your grandma rubs it with mustard oil and mutters a prayer. You thank her and pretend it doesn't sting like betrayal. And yes, the lice rumors are true. They live in your hair, your clothes, possibly your soul. No one escapes. You just stop noticing after a while. If someone sees you scratching, they don't judge. They nod in sympathy and pass you a wooden comb with teeth like swords. By the end of the day, your clothes are damp, your skin is raw, and your fashion sense is completely gone. But you're dressed. That's all that matters. You lie down at night, still wearing the same outfit. It itches. You scratch. You sigh. You'll wear it again tomorrow. Because in the Mughal Empire, fashion isn't about style, it's about survival. And some days, even that feels optional. Morning in Mughal India doesn't begin with a snooze button. It begins with a rooster scream, a goat stepping on your foot, and someone shouting, "Get up! The sun's not waiting." You sit up slowly. Your back cracks like old pottery. Your feet are swollen, your muscles ache, and guess what? You haven't even stood up yet. Today is a work day. Then again, every day is a work day. Your job? It depends. You're either hauling bricks for a palace you'll never be allowed inside, or you're bending over wheat fields with a sickle in one hand and a prayer in the other. Both involve sweating, lifting, and slowly turning into a human raisin. You step outside armed with ... well, nothing. There's no lunchbox, no safety boots, no motivational poster waiting, just the hot sun glaring down like it has a personal grudge against you. You walk down a dirt path, joining dozens of others. No one talks, no one smiles. Why would they? The day hasn't even started, and everyone already looks like they've lived through a minor battle. You reach the work site. It's either a construction ground where nobles are building another monument to their egos, or a field where wheat waves in the breeze, taunting you with the calories you won't get to eat. If you're on brick duty, congratulations. You'll be lifting stones, carrying baskets of mud, and climbing bamboo scaffolding with the stability of a drunken chicken. Your tools? Your hands, a wooden plank, and sheer willpower. If you're a field war, then you remember tomorrow is the same, exactly the same. But for now, you rest your head on a wooden plank, stare at the fading sky, and whisper the same promise you made yesterday. I'll try again. Because in the Mughal Empire, work isn't what you do. It's how long you last. Yes, bath time in the Mughal Empire. That rare mythical occasion whispered about like a ghost story. Let's be honest, you bathe maybe once a month, twice if there's a wedding, 3 times if the river floods and drags you in. You wake up already sticky, your clothes glued to your skin, and your scalp staging a quiet rebellion. You think, maybe I'll bathe today. Brave thought. But first, you have to fetch water. So you grab a brass pot and hike half a mile to the nearest well or stream, which is never just down the road. It's always a short walk, which somehow involves climbing, dodging cattle, and balancing full containers on your head while being yelled at by your aunt for walking too slow. If you're lucky, you make it back with a pot of water. If not, the pot spills, and you have to choose between going back or just staying unwashed a little longer. Guess which one you pick. Now for the bathing process. Don't imagine a bathtub, or hot water, or privacy. You squat in a muddy backyard, or if you're fancy, a half-broken corner behind your hut with a curtain flapping like it gave up long ago. You pour water over yourself. It's cold, sharp, and hits like betrayal. While you're scrubbing yourself with a chunk of rough stone or a leaf-based loofah, a monkey appears on a nearby tree and judges you silently. It stares. You stare back. It doesn't blink. You're not sure if it's curious or just silently rating your technique. There's no soap. Maybe you've heard of it, but owning a bar of real soap is like owning a ruby. Instead, you use ashes. graham flour, or a mix of mud and hope. You rub, rinse, and shiver. Then dry off with a piece of cloth so thin, it's basically spiritual. Your skin now feels both clean and somehow damaged. Like it's been through a breakup. And your hair. You haven't even started yet. You pour more cold water on your head, rubbing mustard oil through your scalp while the smell travels faster than your dignity. The oil is good for the roots, your mother says. But now your hair smells like someone deep-fried emotions. You tie it back and pretend you're glowing Dot. The moment you step outside, dust attacks. You're sweating again in 5 minutes. Bath time officially lasted 7 minutes. Maybe less. Dot. Now let's talk smell. You smell like smoke from cooking fires, sweat from manual labor, and disappointment from the choices you didn't even get to make. There's no deodorant, no perfume unless you're a noble. And if you are, you wear rose oil and sandalwood paste, which smell amazing but cost more than 3 months of food. Meanwhile, try not to stand downwind from yourself. Your clothes. Washed once a month, carry their own ecosystem. Dampness, oil, old food stains. Even after washing, they still carry the memory of everything you've ever done in them, including regrettable things involving lentils. Now let's visit your scalp. Your head is a habitat. Lice, dandruff, the occasional beetle, everyone's. Welcome. You scratch constantly. No one judges. Everyone's doing it. Comb. A wooden one with wide, painful teeth that rips out more hair than it styles. You sit in the courtyard as your aunt goes through your head like a battle commander inspecting. Terrain. Every few minutes, she clicks her tongue and slaps your shoulder like it's your fault. Too many bugs. She mumbles. You nod. What else is new? And yes, you've heard of fragrance. But you haven't smelled it. A whiff of jasmine oil might pass you once a month when a noble woman walks by, wrapped in silks and better decisions. You pause. Your nose flares like a hungry deer. Then it's gone. And you're back to reality. Now for the noble version of hygiene. If you're rich, you have indoor bath areas, servants to heat water, and rose petals floating in brass tubs. You wash daily. Maybe twice. Your towels are thick. Your mirrors are polished. Your oils come in glass vials with tiny spoons. But remember, you're not rich. You bathe next to a brick wall with a monkey making eye contact. Let's not forget the communal bathhouses. Once common, now mostly closed down. Why? Because they became hubs for everything except cleanliness, gossip, drama, and the occasional scandal. Eventually, religious leaders stepped in and shut many of them down. Now, even public hygiene comes with rules and restrictions. Back to you. Your feet are cracked, your nails are chipped. Your elbows could be classified as weapons. There's no lotion, no pumice stone, and definitely no spa day. Sometimes during summer, you jump into the river. It's refreshing until you realize you're not alone. Buffalo, ducks, and 5 other people have the same idea. You leave feeling slightly more alive, but questionably cleaner. In winter, you skip bathing altogether. You wrap yourself in blankets, rub oil on your legs, and tell yourself, next week. That week becomes 3. Hygiene here is like luxury. You want it. You think about it. But mostly, you imagine it happening to someone else. At the end of the day, you lie down on a straw mat, surrounded by the same smells you started with. You scratch your leg, then your neck, then somewhere else. You sigh. You'll bathe again soon. Probably. Maybe. Let's talk about your smile. Or rather, what's left of it. Welcome to the mobile empire, where dental care is a rumor and your mouth is a battlefield. There's no floss, no toothpaste, no dentist. With a calm voice and mint-scented gloves. There's just you, your molars, and the daily trauma of chewing. You wake up with a dull ache in your jaw again. The left side throbs with every heartbeat, And there's a strange smell coming from somewhere near your back teeth. You try to ignore it. That's how everyone handles tooth pain here. Ignore, delay, and pray. Breakfast doesn't help. You bite into yesterday's roti and instantly regret it. Your molar sends out an emergency signal, sharp, fast, and loud. You pause mid-chew, eyes watering. The bread crumbles in your mouth like gravel. You push through. There's no dentist to call. No appointment to make. No little cup to rinse and spit. Your only option? The village barber. Yes. The same man who trims beards and gives head massages is also the designated tooth remover. His qualifications? A rusty pair of iron tongs, shaky hands, and the confidence of someone who's pulled more turnips than teeth. We'll get to him in a minute. First, let's understand how you got here. Every day, you chew sugar cane, raw grains, and overcooked lentils. There's no soft food, no blenders, and no cutlery. Your teeth do all the work. Grinding, tearing, breaking down meals that feel more like building materials than nourishment. You don't brush. You chew neem twigs, which is better than nothing, but still feels like scrubbing your gums with a tiny wooden rake. If you run out of twigs, you rinse your mouth with warm water. Sometimes vinegar, sometimes wine, sometimes nothing. And don't even dream of toothpaste. It won't arrive for another few centuries. Until then, your mouth is a lawless land, ruled by bacteria and regret. Let's say your tooth finally gives up. It's infected, swollen, pulsing with rage. You can't sleep. You can't eat. You can't think. Now it's time to see the barber surgeon. You limp to his stall. It smells like oil, sweat, and old panic. He greets you with a smile that's missing at least 4 teeth. Comforting. You explain the problem. He nods, pokes your jaw, and mutters something about bad humors. Then he pulls out a pair of iron tongs that have definitely seen better centuries. You sit on a wooden stool. He doesn't ask if you're ready. He just yanks. No anesthesia, no numbing gel. Just pressure, pain, and the distinct feeling that your soul is trying to leave your body through your nose. The first tug fails. The second. One dislocates your dignity. The third. Success, mostly. He holds up a cracked tooth still attached to a piece of your spirit. You spit blood. He hands you a cloth. You thank him because you don't know what else to do. And then you walk home, face swollen, one tooth lighter, and fully traumatized. Congratulations. That's the best case scenario. Worst case? The infection spreads. Your jaw stiffens, fever kicks in. Your body can't fight it. There's no antibiotics, no hospitals. You die. From a TOOTHHE. Let that sink in. In the Mughal Empire. A bad tooth isn't just annoying, it's potentially fatal. Meanwhile, the nobles are no better off. They may have more sugar in their diet, sweetmeats, dried fruits, imported delights, but their teeth rot faster. Some paint over the decay with herbal paste. Others wear perfume to cover bad breath. But none of them have real dental care. The royal physician might offer clove oil, maybe a mixture of turmeric and honey, maybe a prayer. That's about it. The pain remains. The rot deepens. Everyone has bad breath. It's not personal. It's cultural. Smiling becomes risky, not for emotional reasons, but for visual ones. Your gums are swollen, your teeth are stained, and half your smile looks like it lost a fight with a hammer. Still, no one complains much. Why? Because everyone's in the same boat. A boat floating on a river of poor hygiene and crushed sugarcane. Sometimes, during festivals, a man with gold teeth walks by. He's either very rich or very cursed. Either way, people stare. Remember the stories. My grandfather had all his teeth at 60. Sure he did. And he also claimed he fought a tiger with a spoon. Back in your hut, the pain returns. The space where your tooth was pulled still aches, but at least it's not throbbing anymore. You rinse with salt water. You lie down on your cot and press a cool cloth to your jaw. A kid nearby chews on sugarcane like it's his birthright. You flinch just watching him. You close your eyes and think about the future. A future with dentists, toothpaste, electric brushes, and minty mouthwash. But for now, you live in the era of grit, grind, and gum pain. And if you're lucky, you'll keep the rest of your teeth a little while longer. So you've made it. You woke up in Mughal India. You braved the cold bucket baths, chewed through rock-hard bread, survived a barber's version of dental care, and somehow didn't pass out while hauling bricks under the 3 p.m. sun. Congratulations. Your reward? Another day. Another day of heat, hunger, and humiliation. You stretch your sore limbs and sit up slowly. Every muscle groans like it's filing a complaint. Your back cracks. Your knees sound like a sack of walnuts being stepped on. You're 25 years old, which in Mughal time is basically a senior citizen. If you're lucky, you've got 5, maybe 10 more years, unless something kills you first, which honestly is highly likely. Let's review the options. Option 1, disease, malaria, dysentery, smallpox, mysterious fevers that arrive without warning and leave with your soul. There's no real medicine, no vaccine, no antibiotics. Your treatment options? Herbal tea, grandma's prayers, and lying very still while everyone around you argues over whether it's serious or just bad digestion. Option 2, accident. You could trip in a flooded rice field and break your leg. There's no cast, no hospital. Just a stick, some cloth, and a whole lot of screaming. Or maybe you fall off a bullock cart, land on a rock, and that's the end of your spine. Mobility was nice while it lasted. Option 3, violence. Let's not forget the occasional tax riot, or the neighbor's property dispute, or a random noble soldier swinging swords just to show they're still sharp. You could get caught in the crossfire for looking too poor, or too opinionated, or just being outside at the wrong moment. And if none of those get you, there's always option 4, food poisoning, because spicy curry that's been sitting out in a clay pot for 3 days is basically a gamble with your intestines. Your stomach rumbles ominously. You take a cautious sip of water and immediately regret it. You lie back on your cot, thinking deep thoughts, like, why am I still itchy? Or was that a mosquito or just death wearing wings? You hear a rooster outside. It's mocking you. The sun isn't even fully up and it's already started. Again, you step outside into the same air you choked on yesterday. Smoke, dust, someone's breakfast, burning. The usual. You pass a man coughing like he's trying to start a fire with his lungs. No one looks concerned. Life here isn't about thriving. It's about not collapsing. You make it to work if you're strong enough. If not, you stay home. But rest is a lie. Even if you're sick, you still have to fetch water, swat flies, and explain to your aunt why you're not helping clean the courtyard. There's no rest. There's only less pain than yesterday, if you're lucky. The people around you, they're not smiling either. They've got missing teeth, bandaged limbs, and eyes that haven't seen joy since the monsoon of 98. Not 1998. Just 98. A friend limps past you. He had a rash last week. Now it's on both legs. He shrugs. Probably nothing. Spoiler, it's probably something. And just when you think it can't get worse, someone shouts, "Soldiers are coming." Not again. You hide, as always. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because existing without permission can be dangerous. They pass, swords glinting, sandals thudding, shouting commands. You stay still. You don't breathe. You don't blink. They leave. You're still here, yay? You get back to your job, lifting mud, shaping clay, harvesting something, anything. Your palms are cracked. Your nails are black. You have a blister that's now become a feature of your personality. By afternoon, you collapse in the shade of a tree that offers zero comfort. You eat a piece of old bread, drink tepid water, and listen to your stomach threaten rebellion. You think of escaping, running to the city, starting fresh, but you don't because you know how it ends. The city is louder, dirtier, meaner. And your odds there? Just as bad, but now with more crowds. So you stay as the sun sets. Casting long shadows over a land that never really liked you, you walk home. Another day survived. Another battle won. Barely. You pass an old man with no teeth, humming a tune no one knows. A child chasing a goat barefoot. A woman brushing her hair with a comb missing half its teeth. Life goes on. Not well. But on. You enter. Your hut, flop onto your cot and sigh. You're exhausted. Filthy, bruised, but breathing. The stars blink above. The air finally cools. The mosquitoes warm up. You pull a scratchy blanket over your legs and think, I made it. But deep down, you know the truth. In the Mughal Empire, survival isn't victory. It's just the entry ticket to do it all again tomorrow. Final line. You didn't die today. That's the good news. The bad news, you're still alive. And morning always comes back.